Hello, I'm Lone Wolf from Wolf Territories, Paul in real life, and I'm going to show you how to do some things with OpenSim and VUE 3D. So I'm going to do some really basic stuff to start with, and then build up to some more complicated stuff. So I'm going to do a series of videos, not just one. So the first video I'm going to do is how to get a terrain, build a terrain in VUE 3D, and then export it out to your OpenSim installation. So here we go. So first thing you do, create an empty scene. Okay. And sorry about the resolution on my screen. It's because I'm waiting for them to do the new Mac version, because I'm running on my Linux machine in a virtual machine, which is a bit complicated. So there's lots and lots of different options in the screen. Can be a bit overwhelming. Just ignore it all. I'm going to just do a very, very simple tutorial. So first thing here, this is where you create your terrains, and there's a few different options. So I've got a normal terrain, height field terrain, which is basically where it just generates a height field and you can mess around with it. Procedural terrains, where it's built on a maths. You can load a terrain preset, which is they've got set preset terrains which you can then edit from there, and then you can actually import a terrain from a real world map, and so you can mess around with doing those things. For now, I quite like procedural terrain, so I'm going to go for a procedural terrain. So when you click on it, you get this red box. If I zoom out, you can see what it kind of looks like, and you can see in the render what it's going to look like. So double click on it like this, and I'm going to take you through a few basic commands. So this is a pretty basic mountain. It's a little bit low, so if I increase the vertical gain, you see the mountain comes up in the air. Oh, that's quite nice, isn't it? Take it down a little bit. Okay, you can zoom in and out with your mouse. Okay, there's these painting tools over here, so you can add and remove things. So you add a few peaks into it like this. I can add some effects to it. Diffuse, you can diffuse again, run some glaciation. There's loads of features that you can spend hours and hours going over. I'm not going to go into zones at this point. River, valley, give it a second to run. Okay, so on the right hand side you've got lots of options for doing effects. Now I want you to notice something very important up at the top here. You see it says 256 by 256. If you're importing into Second Life, that's the size of your region. So, but if you're in OpenSim, of course, we can have VAR regions which are much bigger. So that needs to match the size of the region you want to import it to. So, for instance, I have 64 4x4 regions. So in Second Life, that would be at 1024 sims. In this case, I only work with one region at once, and so this little button here doubles the terrain resolution. So if we click it, it goes up to 512. You'll see the terrain change and get a bit more detailed. I'll do it again because I need 1024 by 1024. You see it takes a little bit more time to generate because of course there's more pixels. Again, I'm running this in a virtual machine, which isn't ideal, but the Mac version doesn't run on Mac Open Slur or Big Slur, or whatever it's called, the latest version, so you kind of need to do it. You can see it's got a lot more detail now. So just wait for it to sort of refresh. And the bigger you go, especially if you've got a bit of a lower powered Windows installation, the slower it'll get. Now, so there's some other functions here. So if I've had enough of this terrain, I want to generate a new one, I can just click the new terrain button at the top. Again, this is just because it's running in a virtual machine. All this flashing and changing. Okay, I think I've just closed it. Let's just pop it open again. There's all kinds of other things going on here as well. I'm just not going to get into it because I want to show you the simple routine of doing this thing. Sometimes this happens if you're running in a virtual machine, and it will say wait or keep going. Okay, so here's my 1024. You can see it says 1024 by 1024. That's the same size as one of my regions. Okay, I kind of like this mountain, but I'm going to faff around a bit. So you can mess around with all the settings. There's different things here which will change the look of the mountains. This one up here regenerates, does a new terrain. This one I quite like. If you hit peak, you can see that it'll change. It's just calculating now. It looks like it's hanging, but it's actually not. I have to put up with this because my big powerful Mac isn't running it. So peak does this really cool mountain. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. Okay, notice as well, okay, these colors might look different on yours. I have them set up the way I want to. So I've created the terrain for my region. and I'm going to have this really cool mountain. Okay, that's going to be underwater, so that's cool. So just to export it, you see it says here export terrain. Okay, and then there's all this stuff you can pretty much ignore. The only thing you're interested in to get a terrain in OpenSim is export 2D height map, and sometimes it might be like this. It might be not highlighted for you, but so you can basically, I've already got it set to what I want it to be, but you can click on this little icon here. You can see I've got loads of terrains because it's so easy to generate terrains in here. Let's put it demo terrain.png, and then I'll hit save like that, and I'll hit OK, and then I can hit export. Now ignore that. So you can actually export the model. I mean, technically you could export the height map, load the height map, and then use the mesh model to have more detailed textures, because as you know, OpenSim only has 4 different types of region texture. So that's now been exported. So I'm kind of done with that. So that's the end of it. That's how you make a terrain for your region in using VUE 3D, which is really incredible. There's loads and loads of other features. Go watch some other videos by VUE 3D on how to actually use the software. But it's pretty quick to build some pretty cool terrains with lots of different features. And you can edit things. So that's the end of this video, and the next video is going to be putting it actually in world. So I'm going to bring it into an OpenSim installation. My website, www.wolfterritories.org. Don't forget to donate if you want to help towards these videos and the tier fees, because obviously having that size, I have to have a pretty powerful server. Cheers.